If a strange but charming individual offers you jerky in the middle of nowhere, you may want to think twice about accepting it. You never know what it is. It was Friday night, and I was feeling bored and wanted something to watch, so I clicked on the new film Apex, starring Charlize Theron and Taron Egerton. Now, I didn't know too much about the film going in, just what I saw on the trailer, but because I've seen a lot of these kind of films before, I had a general idea of what I was in for. So you're going to want to stick around as I talk about the film and let you know if it's worth your time. The film opens up with Charlize Theron and Eric Bana inside of a tent on the ledge of Troll Wall, which is one of Norway's tallest rock walls with 3,500 feet drops. Crazy. And they're climbing this, and Charlize Theron is trying to do a specific climbing move that she keeps failing on. Tragedy strikes, and Eric Bana falls. He hits his head. He's basically dead and hanging there and dragging both of them down, and she has to cut him loose. Now, we cut to, sometime later. We're in Australia now. Charlize Theron has arrived to do some adventuring, some whitewater rafting. She meets a couple hunters who give her a tough time. She also meets a local who kind of helps her out a little bit and guides her on the path. She goes along her way, dealing with locals, dealing with trouble and other issues. And she does some amazing whitewater rafting. It looks great, looks amazing. Someone steals her stuff, but luckily she runs into this helpful guy again. And lo and behold, he plays a song and says, "You have until the end of this song to run away, or I'm going to hunt you with a crossbow." And the rest of the film is the cat and mouse game of him hunting her, catching her, the interactions they have, a couple little surprises in store for you there that I'm not going to spoil right now. But that literally takes up the rest of the, 3/4 runtime almost of this 90-minute film. There's a couple big issues I had with this film. First, the biggest one I think is that if you've seen any kind of film that deals with this kind of stuff, you will not be surprised at all. Everything is telegraphed. Everything is straightforward by the book, if you will. If you've seen Eden Lake or Wolf Creek or even like a Deliverance or any film like that, you know exactly what's going to happen. There's no twists and turns. There's no surprises. There's no gotcha or shocking moments, really. You know everything that's going to happen. This is a very small film because once we get out of her interactions with the hunters, literally the rest of the film is just those two for 60 to 70% of the film. And they're always outside either in caves, in the river, in the forest. If you've seen these kind of films, there's no junctions or cutoffs. You're just going straight towards the end and you know exactly what's going to happen in this film. So that's kind of a bummer because when you only have two people already and you have such a self-contained film, you kind of need shocking moments or surprises, things like that to really keep you engaged all the way. Another thing with this kind of film is this is a very tame movie. I think this film could have easily been a PG-13 movie if not for the language because honestly, there's no kills really that you see except one towards the end. And it's not a super graphic, gory, violent kill. There's a couple moments that have some blood and some violence in them and a shocking revelation. But again, if you're familiar with this kind of genre, it's not really that surprising. You know that with the setup of how they did on the mountain, you know there's going to be scenes of her climbing, and you know it's going to be paid off in the end where the film is going to bookend the beginning and the end. And of course they do. So again, if you've studied screenplay writing or genre writing or fiction, you kind of know what to look for in all these plot points. So you're kind of expecting things to happen at specific times, and they really do, which is also kind of a problem. I do miss Hollywood taking risks in these kind of films. This isn't a big budget movie, so you don't have as much capital tied into this project. So I feel this is the perfect opportunity to take risks, try something new, really push the boundaries and really go for it because you're not risking $300 million and 2,000 jobs, right? And this film just really never goes there. Now, I think the acting from both leads is good, although Charlize Theron's character never really seems like she's grieving the death from the opening of the film. And if she's not, what's the point of the opening of the film, right? But Taron Egerton does a good job of being just enough charming and creepy to make himself believable. And when his mask slips and you kind of see the insane person underneath, it's a pretty cool moment. I just never really bought him as a elite hunter in this like forest, river, jungle location. I just didn't buy it, but it was fun watching him run around screaming, shooting crossbow bolts at her, and just being genuinely odd and uncomfortable. I think this is the kind of film that when I talk to my friends about AI and writing, this is the kind of film that an AI could write. Now, I always said that big Hollywood movies would be safe with all their nuances and characters and twists and turns and plots. That stuff's not going anywhere. But the films like the direct-to-TV movies, the cop procedurals, anything that has an established catalog of examples to pick from could be written by an AI even today. And because this film follows the formula of these kinds of movies to a T, this is exactly the kind of movie I worry in the future will be written by an AI model, and honestly would probably do just as good a job. And if you like these kind of discussions, subscribe to the channel. I do them every week. The thing that stuck out for me as a positive in this film are the locations and the scene photography. Some of her actions on the river, under the water, climbing caves and mountains, all that stuff looks amazing, looks great. It was obviously done on location. So all of that is a big plus. And even though Charlize Theron is, 50 years old now, she was still believable in this film as someone who is athletic, is a climber, has some skills. I've been indoor rock climbing, and let me tell you, it's really hard. And some of the moves she was doing to pull herself up, I don't know if I believe those because it takes a lot of upper body strength, and her arms are like this big. I know my big ass could not pull myself up on that cliff. There's moments where she's hanging, and it's a life or death situation, and she's just like hanging by her like fingertips, and I'm like, dude, I'd be like on the ground on the rocks, just like a beached whale dying and breathing after I fall, because there's no way I'd be carrying myself up there. So that was interesting. You have to cut your believability just a little bit, because when she first runs away from him and she gets into her kayak and she's paddling down this raging river really far away, somehow he runs after her and catches her on the other side. I'm like, what? This thing is going fast. She's going to be miles down this river by the time he even gets close to the riverbank and then has to go and chase her. There's no way. And there's moments where she's been running and zigzagging, and there he is. They never explain that he has any kind of tracker or anything like that, so he just magically assumes to know where she's going. That's always weird and interesting. There's also the classic moments in horror films where you question why the main character is doing what she's doing. For example, she sprays him with pepper spray, and he's literally on the ground trying to put water in his eyes, not paying attention to anything. Grab a rock and hit the dude in the head. Use your chains, hit him in the head. Like do something. There's also the moment towards the end where she takes a rock and breaks his leg. I'm like, don't stop, keep going. What are you doing? Things like that always bug me in films, because it's like you have this moment, you have to see it through and basically rescue yourself. You can't just leave it up to fate. So what do I rate this film? Is it great? Is it horrible? It's neither. It's right down the middle, a 3 out of 5. Great location photography, great scenery, good acting, but a very predictable plot, very tame, and no surprises or shocking moments that I was expecting. If you're looking for something to watch, this is a good option because it's only 90 minutes. It's a very safe movie. It's fun. Nothing horrible or offensive about it, so you can get right into it and enjoy yourself. And if you enjoyed this review and discussion, please leave a comment and a like, and subscribe to the channel because I bring these conversations every week, and I hope to hear from you. Until next time, stop scrolling, start watching.